Hey, taters, I know, 2 videos in one day. Hey, there's some good news coming in, all right? Not no boring snooze fest. As a matter of fact, there's another good news today, but I'll save that video tomorrow, maybe, unless it becomes old news, okay? But I want to basically give you guys some good news in reference to the Supreme Court decision. I do have a more in-depth video that's done by Fox News that I will also play, but I'm going to play that right after I read a couple of paragraphs to this article that we have here on the Gateway Pundit. Breaking, SCOTUS delivers major blow to corrupt Biden DOJ, overturns use of 1512C2 in January 6 cases, massive win for political prisoners. Yes. All right. Things are now I'm getting excited. Now I'm getting excited because I was like, dude, I don't feel like doing no news. I'm so bored with what's going on. But now looks like justice is coming. The Supreme Court of the United States, SCOTUS, has overturned the Department of Justice DOJ use of 1512C2, which is a statute pertaining to obstruction of an official proceeding in cases related to the events on January 6th. Also known as J6. This ruling signifies a major win for those political prisoners and is seen as a significant setback for the Biden regime. Yay! Hey. Okay, man, 2 L's in a matter of 24 hours. Jeez. Yeah, somebody better call on the Biden administration. They probably on life support right now. Well, maybe not yet until the second debate. All right. This decision reveals that the Department of Justice unlawfully prosecuted over 350 Americans. Let me say that again. They unlawfully prosecuted over 350 Americans for their participation in January 6th, a blatant misuse of the law aimed at punishing those who protested Biden's election and at criminalizing political dissent. The DOJ and U.S. Attorney Matthew Graves are prosecuting Donald Trump under the 4 counts of protesting the 2020 presidential election. 2 of the 4 charges are for violating 18 U.S.C. 1512C2 and K for conspiring to do so. Because the other 2 counts are fuzzy, Special Counsel Jack Smith's case against Trump could collapse in an ocean of vagueness without the only 2 clear counts. SpaghettiOs, that don't look so good. Hundreds of defendants have taken plea deals, and that's unfortunate. Let me say this. I totally understand why people can take plea deals, because the federal government can make your life hell. And they can scare you. And those who can say, you know what, I got time, I'll play this game, those are the ones who said, I'll buck up against the system, I'm not taking a plea deal, you ain't got no case, and they fight it all the way through. Some people just want to say, hey, I just don't have the money, I don't have the energy, I don't even want to stress out my family, I'll go ahead and take the plea deal. Hopefully that can be undone, we will see. But I totally don't blame people for taking plea deals in this case, especially when it's clear injustice against them. All right. And I think you all shouldn't either. Hundreds of defendants have taken plea deals because of severe threats of being charged with 18 U.S.C. 1512. Attorney Roger Roots is battling cases where the DOJ offered plea deals, usually of the 4 misdemeanors, and then adds felonies like 1512 as a retaliation against defendants who won't plead guilty. Judge Carl Nicholas dismissed 18 U.S.C. 1512C2 charges against 3 January 6 defendants. They are Jake Lang, Garrett Miller, and Joseph Fisher, on the grounds that the conduct alleged was outside of the reach of the statute. The statute was passed as a species of obstruction of justice by tampering with evidence. It has never been used in this way before. Prosecutors are in effect legislating from the grand jury room, inventing non-existing crimes as if they were Congress. Trouble is, the DOJ has never used this statute before for demonstrations, even those protests that have descended into skirmishes, violence, riots, arson, assaults, death, or worse. Washington, D.C. was under siege of arson and riots in 2017 before and during Donald Trump's inauguration. If the DOJ has never before believed that 18 U.S.C. 1512 covers demonstration, why should the Supreme Court take a different view today? I agree. So let's go ahead and look at Fox News cover this, and they're going to go into more of a detailed analysis of what this includes for now and what we should expect in the future.
So what they have said is that one of the statutes the Justice Department used to charge hundreds of different January 6 defendants is no good. And that includes President Donald Trump, because he has actually had 2 of these counts against him in the Jack Smith D.C. case against him, that federal criminal case that has been on hold here. So what essentially they say is this statute, which was passed in the wake of Enron, they say it doesn't fit here. He says, given that the subsection was enacted to address the Enron disaster, not some other far-flung set of dangers like what happened just right over here at the Capitol, it is unlikely that Congress responded with such an unfocused and grossly incommensurate patch in English that essentially means that all of these people who were charged under this particular obstruction statute for January 6th, that is no good. The dissent, this is a very interesting vote makeup, because the dissent is actually written by Justice Barrett, and she is joined by Justices Sotomayor and Kagan. She says that Congress did intend for this kind of conduct to be brought under the...
I cannot believe... Amy Coney Barrett voted on the... So, I hate to say this. So the dissenting voices were just the women, including Amy? Oh no. Oh no. Come on, please. I hope I'm wrong. Hold on. I gotta see who were the dissenting voices. Okay, it took me a minute, but I finally found it. All right, so this is going to surprise you. Ketanji Jackson voted with the majority, okay? And so the minority is Justice Amy Coney Barrett, Sonia Sotomayor, and Elena Kagan. So it was 3 women, but Ketanji Jackson voted with the majority of John G. Roberts Jr., and, everybody else. So it says, I'm going to read this for you guys. Writing for the majority, Chief Justice John G. Roberts Jr. said the government must establish that a defendant impaired the availability or integrity of records, documents, or other objects used in an official proceeding. The decision returns the case to the lower courts for additional proceedings. So it was 3 women, but one of the women that I'm shocked, okay, Ketanji Jackson voted with the majority, which is majority of the conservatives. And the so-called centrist, Amy Coney Barrett, voted with the libtards. Oh, how interesting. I mean, do you... Anyway. Let's continue where we left off.
This particular obstruction charge, she thinks the majority got it wrong. But what it means is a big headache for the DOJ and good news for hundreds of January 6 defendants charged under this statute, again, including President Trump.
It's a big ruling, too.
Yeah.
I mean, these are big cases. Let's bring back Andy McCarthy, Jonathan Turley. Andy, this is, what does it mean? Big picture for these January 6th
and how many people
defendants.
And how many people was this statute? Did it apply to all these cases?
Yeah, it did.
Well, it applied to all of them.
Well, I think all of them, probably not the ones who pleaded guilty or who made a plea deal. Hold on. Probably all of them except for those who made a plea deal.
Or many of them, Dana, in the sense that it was charged in them. It doesn't mean that everybody who pled guilty, for example, which happened massively in that connection, doesn't mean that all those people have preserved their right to complain about that on appeal. So how many of them it will actually benefit is questionable. But the importance here is that they have found that this is an evidence impairment statute. So in other words, for this kind of obstruction to apply, you actually have to corrupt the documentary evidence that's being presented in a proceeding. The way the Justice Department tried to apply it was that if you engage in conduct that prevents the proceeding from happening in the first place, that it was applicable. The court seems to me emphatically to be saying that that's not the case, at least the majority decision. And I think the importance with respect to President Trump is, number one, does Jack Smith have to supersede his indictment? Because the most important 2 counts of that indictment are this obstruction statute. I think what he would come back and say is that his obstruction theory in the case includes what they call the fake electors scheme, where they actually provided certificates to the Congress for purposes of, according to the prosecutors, undermining the proceeding at which President Biden's victory was certified. So it'll be interesting to see what Jack Smith has to do with his case, and does he have to go back to the grand jury and supersede it? If he has to do that, hard to imagine that this case could get to trial.
All right. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to play the rest of the video. You all get the gist. But congratulations to those who did not make a plea deal. This is a good W. I am really happy. I do feel sorry for those who did make a plea deal, but I don't judge them at all. I totally understand. But we are slowly righting some wrongs that were done to innocent people. So just thought I'd make this video because, like you all know, I have to stop making videos because I'm like, I don't see nothing worth talking about. And here's something worth talking about. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you also happy as well? What do you think about what's going to happen to Trump's next case? Do you think it's going to go through? Do you think it's going to drop it? Because they've just realized calling Trump a convicted felon does nothing. The title is meaningless. Nobody cares. And it's not going to stop Biden from looking like a clown. Anyway, if you like this video, give me a like. If you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Later, taters.